man. Just thank you for joining us today. This is awesome.
Of course, man. It's thank you for inviting me and thank you for yeah, wanting to have this conversation today. I'm glad to be here. Really looking forward. It's been a while since I did lives. Um, but yeah, just heard a bit about you from Esra a few weeks ago. Me and Esra, if you know Esra, we are good friends. We
Mhm.
also do a podcast together. So I also saw you guys went live once together, so I've been keen to do this with you.
We did go live. We did go live. Ezra is a wonderful soul, and that's awesome that you both do a podcast together. I saw that, with guests like Sudeshna and Lauren Lockman, and these wonderful guests that you have on your show, and just that you hear these stories from these people. It's amazing. It's amazing just to witness these accounts from people and just to hear their testimonies. Because when you say, Fahad, that it's been a long time since you did lives, how long ago was it that you did lives on here?
I would say, don't know, maybe over a month, two
Okay.
even maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been recording podcasts for a while, so it's just recording but not live, where there are like audience listening to you in that moment.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. And what inspired you to start your podcast? Like, how long ago did you start, and what was the inspiration for its genesis?
yeah, great question. So something that I have been very curious about and something I love to talk about is life, just life, right? Um, I have always felt the lack of enough people around me, even growing up, to talk about life. And whenever I went into speaking about life and who we are, what is it that we are doing here, anything intellectual, anything intellectual, people just didn't want to continue the conversation. They just wanted to speak about random stuff and have small talks. Like, I do want to tell people listening here, I have like a small talk anxiety, you could call it. Not really anxiety, but like I don't really enjoy small talks, really. Going at an event or wherever I am, and there are people just want to talk about, hey, how are you? What do you do? What's your job? I don't really enjoy if it stops there, I don't enjoy those conversations. I like to go step further, more deeper, get to know who they are truly. It's about quality over quantity. I also don't like to expose myself to a lot of people all the time. So Yani, this is the reason I and also in the moment um, I met Esra and we really connected, and I felt the need to talk to bring a combination of fruit and as well as talking about life, because that has at least been my experience, where I first had to realize how who I am and the light that I am within me and not this body, and that's how I slowly got more and more into the fruit diet. So a lot of people were talking about how many avocados one should eat in a day and what your diet looks like and all of this. I was not particularly very interested in that. I just wanted to talk about how fruit diet nourishes the soul, really lets your soul express itself rather than your body trying to express itself in very limited ways. And I feel like the body is beautiful. It's the most amazing mechanism, one of the most amazing, or the most amazing mechanism on this planet, at least from the things that I've seen, traveled, and all of this. And the mind is an awesome tool, but really it is limited in many ways. If you were to bring your soul, in Arabic we call it the ruh. If you bring the ruh, the soul, into the picture, your mind is very limited in that sense, because your ruh is, or the soul is very limitless and boundless, and is the force of life that we all are, the very force of life that we are. So this is the reason, or this is what inspired me to talk about this. And Esra in the moment also now loves to talk about things like this. So I was like, dude, you know what? We should just have cool people on, talk about things, and help people realize who they truly are, their true nature of being. And that's what got us started. And we've been enjoying it, man. Like, fruit barely makes to our conversation. It's usually consciousness, mindful living, Spirituality is a very broad term. How I see spirituality is to define yourself, to know thyself is spirituality. The process of knowing thyself is spirituality for me. So these are some of the things that we talk about, and I'm happy to speak about that today or speak about fruit, however you like it, man. You're the master today.
No, this is all you, brother. This is awesome. No, I'm already feeling like I feel like my cells are already starting to expand just by listening to this,
Thank you.
just absorbing this consciousness. Just, I titled this The Fruits of Life. I didn't even know where it was going to grow from there, but, we'll just let it flow from there. So when you're talking about, Fahad, about the light, that soul level, like on a cellular level, because of course a lot of people like to talk about the cellular level, but when you're talking about the cellular level, like when did you really feel that deep connection with the soul, with what's beyond the mind, what supersedes, what just goes above and beyond? Was it through meditation? Was it through a vibration? Like, what was it in life that led you to that point of awakening?
Great question. Thank you. I appreciate you for asking me that. Um, what's hilarious, what's funny is that this is the exact I was recording a video for my YouTube channel today, and this was the exact topic I thought of speaking again. How I felt awake for the first time, how I felt that my body and my mind sort of went to sleep, but I was the most awake that I have ever been, right? The moment when that happened, where my mind and body just slept. They went into a deep sleep, but I woke up. I truly woke up. Suddenly, I was so awake. And this is what I was recording, and I'm happy to speak about it again now in the next in 2 hours again. So this was when I was in Colombia, and the country Colombia in South America, the greenest country I've been to, by the way. I've traveled quite a bit, but this was the greenest. Man, there are trees over a tree over a tree over a tree, and trees are my favorite, right? As they should be, I think. They're the OGs of this planet. They sustain our fruits even, like the things that we love. And under the tree is where most of the sages became sages or realized they were sages, I think. Or even Newton or somebody who Newton or Isaac Newton. There's somebody else who got to know gravity. An apple fell on them, right? Forget his name, whoever the legend was. Um, so I was in Colombia, and I was deep in the jungles of Colombia, far from civilization, surrounded by just greenery and greenery. And there was a horse there, which helped me, I think, in this process. And before this, I was meditative. I regularly, not every day, but regularly get into meditation, and I was getting more and more mindful. I was cutting off my distractions. I was going towards a simple living. It was happening. The transition was happening, and as well as I was starting to eat more light. Automatically, at this time, I just felt like naturally to eat just fruit in the morning for breakfast, at least 4 times a week for breakfast only. Fruit just came naturally to me in this moment. And so I started staying in this place. I in the end I stayed there for a month, but the first 3 4 days were really nice. And after the fourth or the fifth day, I felt the need. Suddenly I woke up, bro, Jerome. I just woke up in the morning, and I just felt like there was this really tall tree, and I felt like this tree is really calling me. It's like, Fahad, come here, let's have a conversation. I really felt that, right? And I was like, okay, sure, why not? Left all of my devices, everything, no book reading, nothing. And I was like, let's just go and sit under this tree and see what happens. And I sat under this tree, and I was all by myself, no distractions. And suddenly I felt the most connected that I've ever felt. Oh my God, things were changing. I was suddenly like, things around me are changing. My perception is slowly changing. I am so joyful, bursting with ecstasy, very happy in and within myself. I also remember there was this person who came by, and she looked at me and she was like, wow, you're so happy, because I was truly feeling connected and so happy. And inclusiveness. What I mean by inclusiveness is for the first time, I no more thought I am excluded from nature or excluded from the life that is around me, the intelligence. What I mean by intelligence, to go more deeper, is when you sit, even you don't have to go to a forest, but in the forest or in greenery, green places, it's easy to just look around you and everything around you, isn't it, Jerome? Everything around you is pouring with intelligence. There's intelligence, intelligence, intelligence everywhere in the minute of the minute, the smallest of the smallest thing is pouring, dripping with intelligence. So intelligent, isn't it? From the very ant that is carrying a small leaf on top of its head, going somewhere you don't know, to some bird singing music. There's just intelligence everywhere. You don't get to see those that much intelligence in a city, but there's still life happening with its full force, even in a city, you could call it. So I was there, and I was for the first time I realized the intelligence all around me. The wind was blowing, and I felt this inclusiveness. I felt that, oh, wait, I am this. Before this, I read in books, I heard it in YouTube videos, so that was my belief. But in this moment, it became a knowing. For somehow it naturally became like as if I know that it truly is me. Because there's a difference between believing it when you read something, but truly knowing. But in this moment, the knowing moment happened for me. And and hours felt like minutes, and I was just sitting there all by myself, and having tears come out of my eyes. Really, so much gratitude to the life that I've been given. And in this moment, it was becoming clearer and clearer that this body is not me. This body is mine for me to use right now. In this moment, it's perfectly my body, but this is not me. It's becoming clearer and clearer. So the day passed, the next day, the same thing, the next day, the same thing, the next day, the same thing. This went on for 5 days. And in 5 days, and I have to mention this, I was not high on anything,
No.
because when I tell this, I was, when I tell this to people on YouTube or online, they're like, bro, what you smoke, man? What you take? I was like, nah, I didn't take any. I don't have to be taking anything. I just think that sometimes drugs, just to put it out there, can make you feel, can bring that inclusiveness, but is just for a very short term, like very short term timing, and then it's gone. But if you were to truly pay attention to everything around you, somehow the intelligence around you wraps you as well. Just like how it has wrapped the ants that are doing its thing. They just know what to do. They just know it. Somehow if you're surrounded by the intelligence in a forest, or I was lucky enough to be in Colombia, to be surrounded in that forest, I just feel like that forest wrapped me around in its intelligence. Like it just wrapped me, and it gave me some, how you could call it, downloads, or some information, after which I could not know anymore. Like I could not know that. So and then I remember after those days, like the next day, after 4 or 5 days of that complete just being by myself, no distractions, nothing. I was walking by, I was thinking, I was hiking in that same jungle, in an afternoon, and while I was walking, I was like, wow, I just feel like I don't know nothing, like I
Mm.
don't know anything, but yet I have known something. There is something that I have known. And what that something was, that I got closer to the very light or the force of life that I am. This light that is throbbing within us, that is keeping this machine going, the beautiful machine, human body, going. Because once you take the light out, this body is useless. This happens every day to thousands of people, and we call that death, right? The removal of the processed light, and the body is useless. And so I realized that I don't know anything, but I understood that now I know something, that I am this light. Truly, I am this light. And this light I see as the force of life, the force of life that keeps the earth rotating, revolving around the sun, keeps the solar system going, the galaxy spinning don't know where. We don't know where these things are headed. Don't know, in the middle of nowhere, truly in the middle of nowhere. So there's this force of life that's making this happen, and the force of life that's keeping the stars shining. And I, for the first time, understood that I am also this force of life, the very same material. And this was something for me in that moment. And after this, it became a mission to help people realize that we all are this force of life. And once we start to identify ourselves more from this force of life, we start to take out all the masks that we take on during the process of life, all the identities, limited identities we take on. Oh, I am from this country. Oh, I'm of this color. Oh, I'm this or that or this or that. And those are the things that are causing the most havoc on the planet, these limited identities. Once we start to realize that we are none of these things, then I think we start to see each other as one part, one inclusiveness. Um, so during that hike, man, I was like, wow, my body feels great. I just had an apple in the morning, and it feels so light, so miraculous, limitless. And yeah, since then I was like, maybe I should just, it naturally came to me, maybe I should just keep eating fruit. And fruit diet allows you to um, let your body, the fruit diet allows you to stay away from your body's limitations. And once that happens, it's natural for us to realize who we truly are. That is the light that is throbbing within us.
Wow, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. My goodness. Like, oh
Thank
my
you.
gosh. I didn't want to miss a word. You know what I'm saying? I was just enraptured, you captured us with this picture that you just painted and really just artfully illustrated from the heart. It felt like it was all coming from the heart space and just really connected. Like you really brought us to that moment, that moment in time. What a realization, what an awakening, what a mission, what a mission that you have now to spread this awareness to for other people to realize it themselves. And when you talk about, Fahad, the limited identity, or maybe even the lie identity, we can call it the lie identity, right? That we have of ourselves, is that what you feel causes the most separation from that realization that I am this or I am that?
Absolutely, man. For sure. If you look at the situations that come to us on a daily basis, or also the situation that we as a humanity are facing right now, it's mainly because of all these lie identities that we take on, right? To go back, like I belong to this country and you belong to this country, and if you and me are different and separate, and we are not the same, you know. There's all this feminism and all of these things happening in the world, that you are this, I am this. So we have a clear boundary. All of these things naturally allow you uh, to create a distance, or create a separation from each other. And separation is what causes all of the fear and hate and anger come out of people, because now want to they no more see you as them, and they don't see them as you. We are different, we are separate now. And these limited identities have for the longest time, you know for hundreds and hundreds of years, for centuries now, all the situations or issues we have been in is because of the limited identities that we have taken on. We have forgotten that we are the very force of life. There's nothing but life that is happening all around us. Nothing but life, right? From the first day to the end, it's life, and that is all that we should really be focusing on. And if we were to start creating um, distractions from the very life that we are, this is when we start to take on these masks that we put on ourselves, and we become so identified to these masks so strongly. There is a desire to strongly identify because we like to strongly identify with things because we think that these things will make us feel the limitless, boundless self that we are. I think this is what happens. At
Mm.
least in my case, this is what happened. Is the more and more we try, and this is where greed comes in as well, is because we think another something will make us feel that limitless.
Mm.
Another something will make us finally feel calm and peaceful, finally feel like we are homecoming or we have come home. But the thing is, we are looking for it outside. And if we look for anything that's outside of us, it can never fulfill your lust or desire. You can never feel like homecoming because the home is never out there. The home was never out there. The home was always here. It was always here. Um, and so to chase that feeling of homecoming, which is very natural, I think everyone should seek and desire homecoming. Homecoming is where we all should seek and desire. We should feel like home at all times. But the thing is, homecoming is not in the things or the objects or the things out there, but the homecoming is realizing that you are the very force of life. And when you truly identify yourself with the force of life that you are, that is the ultimate homecoming. And that homecoming can be achieved by meditation, ways of meditation. I love meditation. Um, for me, also religion plays a part as well. Religion also talks about, at least in my culture, religion also talks about how you could come home. Finally, we all are going to go back to that higher intelligence. You could call it God, you could call it universe, whatever it might be for people. There's a certain homecoming, and you could feel that homecoming now within you.
Mm.
It is totally 100% possible within you is that home. And so look for that home within you. Don't look for that home out there. Um, yeah.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful explanation. Thank you for this breakdown. The way that you're talking about, like, the ultimate homecoming is not out there, but it has always been within you. And it's like sometimes we come to that realization, the more that we continue, we realize it's always within you. So when you're talking about, I love how you illustrated and you said that the trees are the OGs. I never heard that before, but I love that. When you're in Colombia, you've seen trees on trees, the greenery and the scenery, and you said trees are the OGs. They hold the fruit that you hold so dear and that nourishes you, it flourishes you. So when you had this tree calling out to you, what was the feeling within you? Was it like a feeling, a knowing, or a yearning, a voice? Do you feel like you chose the tree or the tree chose you?
Mm. Great question. I like that question. Um, I believe there was nobody who chose anybody. I think um, we are all part of the same. Um, we are all longing and wanting to be connected. Um, the tree wants to feel connected. The tree would love to explore a whole energy that truly connects with itself, and you also want to do the same. Tree provides a lot for you, even physically it provides a lot for you. If you were to go more deeper energetically as well, it could provide a lot for you. So I just believe that, it's like how two people come together. It's just both of them chose each other. I believe the same should have happened between me and the tree. Um, and, and as far as and you never know, maybe this tree has done the same for many other people. I have not heard that the story. Maybe they're out there doing similar lives like these. Um, So maybe the tree does this for a lot of people, or maybe not. But the thing is, what we need to realize is that these things, one, even physically, trees do a lot for you, right? They pretty much are ensuring that they give you the thing that is keeping you going, the thing that we do from the very first moment of our life to the very end of our life, which is take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. This is what we do. And the beauty about them is that they give you the oxygen, take in carbon dioxide and give you the oxygen. So already physically, they are keeping you alive here so that your force of life can have an expression, can have an experience using this body. So physically, from a physical standpoint, already the trees are doing their part very well. Then comes to the perhaps the energetical part. Um, People can have different experiences under trees. However, for me, let's talk about what my feeling was under the tree that day, or for those days. Again, speaking about it was homecoming, right? It was definitely homecoming. I realized for the very first time I knew, because I've heard this from many people and read in books and videos, heard it. I was believing in this. Maybe it's so important to also perhaps sometimes believe in something, and a moment strikes in your life when suddenly it becomes a knowing. And in this moment, a tree made that happen for me. So for the first time, I knew that I am part of this universe and part of the life that I am, right? Because before this, what I was this body. I wanted to ensure that I keep this body so well in a great shape, and only then will I be attractive, and only then will somebody would want to spend time with me. Um, before that moment, who I was probably the psychological drama that was happening in my mind. And this is true for a lot of people, even after that I've spoken. Even now, if you ask people who they truly are, what are they? They would say that they are the voice that is constantly going on in their mind. That's them. They really identify themselves as that, because whatever the voice is going, they are a reaction to that voice, and that's how they carry out their life. So they, in their experience, they are the mental chatter that is going on in their mind. And it was the same for me too. I thought that I am this mind, and whatever I think, I will project it, and that's what I am, isn't it? If I want to be, if in my men, if in my mind I'm like, oh, I want to be Fahad, who is living in Saudi Arabia and dresses this way and lives in here, that's who I am, right? That's how I would see, and you can already see how limitless or how limited that is. But once you come out of those masks and realize that these things are just a tool for me to use right now. These are just tools that I use to go on about my life, but this is not me. And truly knowing that is what this moment has allowed me to do. It doesn't just come like that. It takes certain days. In this moment it took me a few days to fully grasp the whole idea, and now you have everything around you working in your favor, life working in your favor to make that happen, to make that belief more true. So Yani, this is how I see it. No distractions is what has perhaps made this happen. Because maybe before, many times I would spend time under a tree on my phone, and there's time and place for that. But I don't think so. You would really get a chance to connect, to truly ground yourself um, with these things. And also, I do think that a lot of things in nature have been there for years and years, for decades, centuries. So these things have have knowledge and wisdom of things that we don't even know, right? So if you could walk into a room and feel the energy of the room, the same way, if you could meet somebody and feel the energy of this person, learn something just by interacting with this person, the very same way we could have the same communication even with a mountain or a tree, because these things have been here for so long. And meditation allows you to open up your your not just five senses that we've been taught to have, but other senses that are very much present here, your antenna, you could call it, or your energetical vibrations, you're more susceptible to it, you're more open to it. And once you're more open to it, that's when you get the knowledge or the communication, or you could have the same level of communication that you could have with people.
Okay, okay. Awesome. So this is great for someone to realize, who is listening to you and they're asking themselves, how do I get more in tune with nature? How do I be more in tune with the all? How do I find this soul realization? Like, how do I feel this? And maybe they're wondering, is it my level of sensitivity? Am I too dense? Am I not sensitive enough to feel it? Do I need to do more meditation so the antenna and the signal are just right to be in that frequency bandwidth of feeling all of this love or this energy? So you would say that with a person, they should focus on what, just meditation, or should they focus on like lightening their vibration through, resensitization? Like, what do you feel should be the focus?
Mm. I definitely think people need to calm down to begin with, for sure, first. We as a generation are way too distracted, and we definitely need to calm down quite a bit. And we need to put a stop to our constant mental chatter. There's a constant mental chatter that is so busy telling you that you are this, you're not this, you're not this, you can't do this. All of this is keeping people so busy. And that is how anxiety and overthinking and depression, all of these are natural
Mm.
when the mental chatter takes over. So we definitely need to, I think, start to realize that there is a state where you can calm yourself down, slow down, slow down. And like I told you, you could put your body, there's a way, meditation, and there's yoga, and there are other ways as well that allows you to put your mind and body to some rest, less stimulation. I don't know if you have heard, there are some fruitarians who tell me that after eating fruit for a while, they started becoming more sensitive to vibrations and energies. I don't know if you have come across these fruitarians. I've had that conversation many times where so many fruitarians um, have come and told me that, man, after becoming a fruitarian, I have become more sensitive. When I walk into a room and when I see people and when I meet people, I've become more sensitive. And Jen here, thank you for your comments, Jen. Jen is saying that that has happened to her as well. Hey, Jen, I believe you're having a fabulous day so far. So, um, I believe that happens because we are less stimulated, we have less distractions, right? So we definitely need to put down a lot of distractions that we take on as a society right now. Once that happens, it is very natural for us to be more open to other energies out there, to other energies that are constantly communicating with you and wanting to teach you, or either put something, or there's always good and bad, and there are energies that are trying to bring the good, show the good to you. There are also energies that are showing the bad to you. Of course, you choose what you want to take and what not to take. So I do believe that meditation is such a beautiful process to calm down your mental chatter, because the only way one, if a lot of people come and they tell me, just the other day there was this person who was telling me that the voice in their head, they don't like it. They don't like the voice in their head. The constant voice that we always have that is speaking to us all the time, they don't like it. And I told to the I asked them, why is it so? And she's like, it is constantly it's constantly speaking all the time, it's constantly going on, and it's telling bad things. And I'm like, so what do you think can make that voice chill or calm down a bit? Definitely not scrolling on TikTok, because that's going to add more to that, right? Isn't it? So the only way that could happen is for you to actually practice focusing on just one thing and staying present in that moment for a while. And that's what meditation is. In the beginning, it'll probably feel like, whoa, what's going on? What am I doing? But with everything, practice, with practice, everything becomes easier. And this is what I think we all should do is don't stimulate ourselves so much, not be so distracted, and naturally the light within you, the ruh, or the soul that I was speaking about, will start to express itself more because we are now giving it the room to. And when that happens, this energy that we cannot see, can we see the soul? No, right? We don't see the soul, yet we know it exists, right? A lot of people, 9 out of 10 people would at least say so that it exists. So we know deep within ourselves, this energy, something that we cannot see, exists in us. If it exists in us, that means there is a world that is unseen, that not that is not all defined and said by logic, where science might just fail. I used to be a big science student and love science and all of this, but there is, I do know that science cannot explain soul, what a soul is yet. It belongs to the unseen. So there is the unseen that is constantly, if the unseen lives within you, within this body, which could be you, that means there is the unseen happening outside of you as well, right? And this unseen is what we have not been taught to pay attention to, our education system, our human domestication, all of this. And so we tend to forget it, but it still exists. What meditation does is it allows you to rest, calm down a little bit, so that you start to now see or not see, but feel the unseen.
Mm.
And this unseen is what probably happened with me and the tree that time in Colombia. And this unseen was the communication, the unseen communication between me and the tree, um, that led me to know all this.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. It gives you chills just thinking about this stuff. Like, hear this. It's very deep. It goes past the intellectual. Like you said, it goes past the service level. It goes really, really to who we are at our core, at our essence. And like you said, Fahad, this is not the knowledge they teach us in college. We don't have like conscious curriculum that really illustrates this, or at least I didn't growing up in school.
Me
I
too.
didn't have any classes that taught what you're teaching us right now, and what you're letting people know, that it's like instinctively we already know, but sometimes we need that confirmation. And nature can give us that confirmation because within it holds that vibration. So it's like we're all remembering, we're coming back together, and into these understandings that seem new, but it was like they were already there. We just weren't aware they were already there, you know
Yeah.
so this is so beautiful. Just talking with you is beautiful, because when you're breaking these things down, and you're talking about, you know I seen in a video you were talking about the consciousness of an ant, or what an ant will do to defend itself or to protect its life, and how the body is intelligent, just like the ant is intelligent. Some people, well, a lot of people will put, human beings above other species, and say that we are the apex predators and we're more intelligent than these species. But where do you see intelligence? Is there a hierarchy of intelligence when it comes to the ant, when it comes to the bird, when it comes to the tree, when it comes to the plant? Like, where do you see intelligence with the human being in relation to all of these other vibrations?
Yeah. Um, sure. So there is no question about something that is the following, where we are the most evolved species of all, right? At least our brain. The way our brain, the things that brain can do, um, the way our brain is structured to think about ourselves, to have our own conscious realization, is something that at least we don't see animals have. We don't at least see that actively happening. Yet I do fully believe that they have their own ways of communicating. They have their own beautiful things going on. The other day I was sitting at the beach and I saw thousands, probably tens of thousands of these birds. Probably they migrated from somewhere. They chose to come here, which is more warm. But this happened a few months ago in the winter time, which is still warm here in Saudi Arabia. And they came from they definitely did not seem, or I did not see this species at least here in Saudi Arabia. So they were somewhere from the outside. They were in tens of thousands, and the way they kept coming and coming and coming, and literally had a round table circle like made, and they were sitting on the surface of the water, and they just chose to be there for an hour or so. And I was keenly observing what is going on, and it really felt like they are having a whole event. There's a whole event with a speaker standing, like literally I saw three or four birds just standing, and all the other birds just facing those three, four birds, and they're constantly chirping, all of this on the surface of the water. And it's like, they're migrating from somewhere, and now they had like a quick pause or stop, and somebody is giving an announcement. Okay, we have so many other kilometers to go, and is everyone doing good? Or so like, so that was like, wow. Looking at it, I was like, wow, this is intelligence. This is nothing but intelligence, right? This is intelligence, or perhaps the universe, you could call it the higher intelligence, universe, God, showing that it has not just favored the human beings, but it has also given the intelligence also to other beings, which says that we show our gratitude and respect to them. They are not just here lifeless. They are not just here to unconsciously or fully surrender to the human being. Rather, they too surrender to the force of life that we are. I know for a fact it's called tasbih. So in Arabic, the word is tasbih. If I were to explain this word tasbih of the universe, means everybody surrenders. When I observe the species around me, the animals around me, the inanimate, animate objects around me, even the trees, to even the leaves, I feel that they fully surrender to the force of life. They fully, no tree ever says that, oh, I do not want to participate in autumn season this year. The sun does not get a chance to say, I do not want to rise today, or I want to take a day off, right? The earth does not get a chance to say, I want a rest day. That just does not happen. There is a law set by the force of life, the universe, the God, whatever you want to call it, and they keep doing their role. The only thing is, humans are the only ones that I see who choose not to do the tasbih. You could call it the tasbih, or choose for part-time to not abide by the laws of nature, right? And when that happens, there are clear consequences to this. Clear consequences. People go through this. I see it's sad to put this statistics, but it is true. And this is not to corner any parts of the world or anything, but I heard that, or I read that 40% of Europe is on some sort of a mental psychiatry. 40%, right? One out of two people in the US feel lonely. What does this mean? First of all, why I bring Europe first is because this is the part of the world which has enjoyed, from the 15th or the 14th century onwards, for centuries now, they have enjoyed the most material wealth any part of the world ever has. You agree?
Whoa. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Europe has always wanted to conquer. They conquered, they have stolen wealth from other nations. All of this happened, all the material wealth this part of the world enjoyed the most it ever could, right? The other, like the country India, where I am from, even India had to go through some of the consequences, because someone from the Europe felt like, going and conquering this place. So what I'm trying to say is that Europe, for the longest time, has had the most material wealth and pleasure and luxury than any other part of the world. Yet, even now, they go through some great material possessions. Yet, yet, they don't seem to be peaceful. Yet, yet 40% of that part of the world is on some sort of a mental psychiatry, which says a lot. If you think about it, it says a lot. Because ultimately, what do we humans want? We want peace of mind. We want nothing but peace of mind. I think peace of mind is the highest goal that there could be, if there is, or peace of mind is the highest state of living that there could be. Yet, with the most material pleasure and luxury, if a part of the world could not get there, then where is the answer? What is it, right? Where is the answer? Because clearly, um, if it was having the most material wealth, if that could bring you pleasure, then we all should be doing it 100%. If this brings us peace of mind, if this makes us calm and peaceful, I think we all should go there. But if that does not bring peace, what does? I think what brings peace is the tasbih, like I said, understanding that we are the force of life, understanding that we we are here to play our part, understanding what our part is, and truly abiding by the laws of nature, and truly surrendering to the very force of life, and really surrendering to the universe or the God or whatever you might call it. When that happens, when that tasbih happens, which somehow all the other creatures, all the other things have figured it out and do it perfectly well, and this is why they seem to live a good life, a life that they are supposed to be. But only humans have forgotten this. It's only humans that have forgotten to do the tasbih. And once we start to realize that we do the tasbih of God or universe or whatever, this is when I think that peace of mind state can truly be achieved, right? Because you now have this strength, this light, this strength that has been given to you is more stronger, and you now know what needs to be done, how it needs to be done. Whatever happens on the outside, inside is always strong, is always looking splendid, looking peace and calm. And so this is what I think. And tasbih, or abiding by the laws of nature, is realizing that you show utmost respect really to all the other creatures around you, because they are doing what you are not. They are doing the ultimate work that we are not, which is the tasbih, which is the abiding the laws of nature, which is surrendering. I would like to use the word surrender, because the sun truly surrenders to the universe or the force of life, right? The earth truly surrenders, the ant truly surrenders, the sheep or the cow or whoever, they truly surrender. But it's just us, we don't surrender. So if they surrender and you don't, you first need to understand that we need to show more respect to them, right? And once that happens, naturally, we will start to not consume or kill animals 10 times more than our population. 8 billion people on the planet, 80 billion animals killed in a year. That's that's clearly showing disrespect. And when you show disrespect to the creature that has surrendered to the force of life, life will start showing disrespect to you. And when life starts disrespecting you, this is when anxiety happens to you. This is when depression happens to you. This is when you go into some sort of mental psychiatry. And I believe that is not the place we should be as humans.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree. It's these are the things that I wish, you know, like I had to go through a lot of pain to understand or really understand like certain elements of what you're talking about. It didn't happen until I surrendered, you know,
Right.
until I let go, until I released, until I relinquished, until I just said enough was enough, you know. It was, but before that, it was never enough, you know.
Mm,
There was more and more and more. Like there was always something more I could be eating. There was always something more I could be having. There was always something more I could be watching. There was always something more I could be doing. You know, there was always something more I could be chewing, right? But when it finally was like enough and I just let go, it's like I was able to just feel a fullness from the emptiness. It was very paradoxical. It was very paradoxical, but I was full from being empty, you know, but it took me to surrender to find that fullness within me. So this is so beautiful, just what you're talking about. And it paints a picture, but it also shows the grim reality that we might be facing if we continue to go against nature, if we continue to flow against the current that is already going this way. The stream is already going this way. We're trying to swim upstream. We're trying to fight the water. We're trying to fight the tsunami, trying to fight nature. Nature's not gonna, you know, it's going with where things are flowing, so we might as well be flowing how things are already growing, you know, naturally, a natural way. So I love that you bring it back to the laws of nature, you bring it back to the planet, you bring it back to the love, you bring it back to the animals that are already living in accordance with these divine laws. You know, they already have this intelligence within them that's very instinctual, and it's like we can tune in if we don't tune out. You know, if we don't tune out, we can always tune in. So yeah, just thank you for that awareness. And when it comes to fruits in particular, you know, before we go, I just love to hear, what do you feel is essential about the fruits that you've discovered through your travels? Because I know you said you've been all over the world and you've seen so many different things, but what did you discover? Was it simply less stimulation, or was there a certain information that you found within the fruits that just really assists you on your journey and just allows you to reside within this surrender?
Yes. First of all, thank you. Thank you for giving your for chiming in to the accordance, living by the accordance of nature and the divine laws. I fully agree with this, and it's our egos. It's the ego of you know. There was a great saying that a friend of mine told me yesterday. It was like, why does your ego let you think that the why does your ego let you think that the plan that God or universe has is not better than yours? Or why do you think that your plan is better than the plan of the universe? Why? Why do you think this? Right? You think the universe or God is not that intelligent to know exactly what is right for you, right? It knows. Just let it be. Just let it do its thing. And truly, there is so much peace and calmness and serenity and contentment and fulfillment in realizing that you can actually hand over many things that you don't have to worry about and truly focus on your mission. And your mission should really be to learn more about yourself, truly getting to know yourself. And once you get to connect with the light that you are, everything starts to work in your favor, man. Everything. And that's where the true peace is, really. So yeah, yeah, but I want to go ahead and definitely answer your question about fruit. How I see with fruit, man, is that so the way lions have been designed, doing a bit of research of mine and analyzing lions, for them, the way their anatomy is designed, meat is the best thing that they could eat. If you give them a grass, if you give them fruit, you give them grass, it's not going to become them that easily, because end of the day, what this body is, I was not born like this, surely, right? I was definitely not born with this size, looking this way. The same with you, right? What happened is, along the way from the birth until today, what has happened is that we ate food, and this food transitioned or became transformed into this. The food that we ate, gathered up and became heaps. So essentially, this body is just food, the food that we ate. Wouldn't, would you
I hear
agree?
you. I hear you. Yeah.
Right? So it's the food that we ate. However, again, going back to the laws, realizing what law works the best for you. For a lion, eating meat helps a lion cub, become a full-fledged big lion. Meat does the best job. That meat transforms into a lion so easily, so effortlessly. So the same way, if I were to eat meat as opposed to grass or as opposed to fruit, there is no denying one can experiment and pay attention and see what is that food that becomes you as easy as possible, as easily, as effortlessly as possible, without too much of taxing, too much of too much of resistance. They should, with as little resistance, with as little taxation to the system, as effortlessly as possible. What is that type of food that will essentially become my beard, my hair, my eyes, my skin, my nose, my hands? What is that? And to me, and for many at large, because we're, seeing the way our anatomy is, fruit does the best. Have a mango as opposed to a slice of meat. Experiment, right? Slice of meat takes a long time to be processed by your stomach, to be digested, to go through the intestines, and then it stays in the intestines for so long. Our intestines are not as short as of carnivores. It is long intestine, so it stays there, it decays there. The reason why carnivores have a short intestine is because it goes in and goes out quickly, right? Because if it stays longer, it starts to decay. And if it decays, then your body is putting too much effort into not having it go bad, too bad inside of your system. Then you're going to have all sorts of chaos. And then, as opposed to meat, so that's meat. And then if you bring mango or a watermelon, it's nothing but water. 80 to 90% of it is just water. So it just goes in smooth and becomes you. Very smooth, very effortlessly. So this is the real question. I think one should ask, what is that food? What is that food material that I put, whatever it may be? I really want people to start questioning this to themselves, because we have been given this mind, we have been given this beautiful mind to question, to question. I want for people to question and observe. And when you observe meat, slice of meat as opposed to mango, what is going inside of your system and effortlessly becoming these nails, these fingers, this body. And in my opinion, in my understanding, in my observation, mango has done a lot better than slice of meat. And this is the reason why I choose to eat mango. Now, for a lot of people, I know that if you went on 30 years of your life, 35 years of life, eating the way the society eats and going through that, and suddenly transitioning to fruit, in the beginning, you're going to feel great and that high of fruit, and then you're going to see some side effects. And I think that's natural. You should see side effects because you have given your body things that were not so effortless for it for so long. And then suddenly if you were to change, there will definitely naturally be side effects. Probably you're gonna look so skinny in the beginning and not put on muscle, or you're gonna feel this or that or this or that after, let's say, 4 or 5 months of fruit. But then you will start to see the quality of life go up, because this is the moment when it goes up and then it goes down. Keep going with it, but then when it starts going up, this is the most beautiful time, because now your body is again training itself to to living on fruit, like how your body trained itself from moving from milk to the normal food, rice and meat and all of this. So I want people to be also patient with themselves and be patient with their body. And when that curve starts to go up, the quality of life starts to go up. Mind clarity, sleep clarity. There's endless. The list just goes on and on. So this is all. And also, I do think that anything that has emotions, so meat, slice of meat has emotions in it. Deep within it, it has emotions, emotions of the animal, right? And now this emotion is a certain code, right? And when it goes inside of you, it is hard for your body to decode that, digest it, and turn it into you. As opposed to a mango, it does not have as complex emotions as a cow. So to be able to decode is not even a task, and to break it down to digest is a lot simpler for your body. I think even not just by experimenting, just by paying attention to the concept of this makes a lot more sense for people to realize what is easier to become you and what is not easier to become you.
Yeah. Absolutely. It just makes sense, you know? Just makes sense when you really like I love how you encourage people, you implore people, you empower people to ask the questions. You know? You're like, I want you to ask these questions. I want you to, skepticism is what got me to where I am now. You know, it was like
Yeah.
a healthy amount of skepticism allowed me to shift and allowed me to lift and find my own gifts, so it was asking those questions, like the questions are the answer. And I think that's one of the wisest things that we can do is what you said in the beginning. I have no idea, right? Like to start from there, start from like I know nothing, and then start to ask and find out. I love what you said. It was beautiful what you said in the beginning. Like I figured out that I know nothing, but I learned something. Like I know nothing, but I learned something. I learned something. So this is amazing, man. Thank you for just making it simple and plain, down to earth. These laws of nature, not going against, your body's own natural, it's its constitution to be healthy. And when we're not fighting against that, when we're not putting and consuming things that stay and decay in the body, then it just allows for a juicier and more fruitful and healthier life. I definitely agree on all levels. So, if this is somebody's first time seeing you, Fahad, and they're wanting to know if you have any offerings, if you have any services, or maybe they just loved your story, your journey, and they want to get in touch or get in tune with you. Like, do you have a place where you'd like people to go to just find more information about where they can get in tune with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could find me on Instagram. The handle is at raw fruitarian. So no space, no dot, no nothing. And on YouTube is raw fruitarian Fahad. So raw as RAW, fruit, Aryan like vegetarian, fruitarian, and then Fahad is FAHAD. That's how you could find me. As of now, I am providing free calls to people, whoever wants to come on, talk, and really just helping people figure themselves out. If this is something you want to do, reach out to me. I'm happy to jump on a call with you and do this for you. And yeah,
Beautiful. Awesome, man. Well, thank you once again for coming on. Just thank you for
thank
your
you.
time. I just love the way that your philosophy, the way that you think, and the way that you keenly observe, the way that you pay attention to the things that we take for granted every day, that we just pass by every day and walk by every day. I love that you really pay keen attention to these things and bring them out, so much more. So just thank you, brother, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Awesome,
I appreciate
awesome, awesome.
you. Thank you. Bye.
Beautiful.